Welcome back, everybody. This is the Barcode Mixture, and today we're in someone's home, kind of, right?
Yeah.
We're in the conference room. This is Anays Diaz. She is with Spiribam. As you can see, a lot of rum today on the table.
A lot of
this,
rum.
This might be a problem. You guys know that I quit drinking about a year ago, but this might be the day. I'm a big rum guy. So, how long you been doing this?
So I've been with Spiribam specifically for almost 4 years now.
Okay.
I
You were a bartender before.
I was a bartender before. I was a lot of things before. Bartender,
Many of us,
bar
this
manager,
business. Yeah.
manager, dishwasher, whatever the team needs.
Of course.
Right? So yeah, but officially with the company 4 years in February. I like to say that Miami Rum Congress is my anniversary because
Okay. That's coming up.
yeah, that's when
February.
I was offered my job.
That's great.
So it was great.
Are you guys doing anything for Miami Rum?
Not quite sure yet.
No?
I normally start thinking about it now and
Okay.
a few months out what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I've
Usually
never.
big.
Yeah, I've never been, but I definitely want to go.
You have to go. It's a really great opportunity to learn about a lot of older rum brands, newer brands, get to know everyone that works with them. You're always gonna try something new no matter how many years ago.
Right.
It's fun.
Yeah. I remember my first rum taste. I wasn't even in the business yet, but I went to. They used to do these rum tastings at the Vizcaya.
Rum
I'm
Renaissance.
sorry, not the Vizcaya, Venetian Pool.
Rum Renaissance.
Yes.
That actually just happened this past weekend.
Oh, they still do it.
Yeah, they're still doing it. The owner was telling me that they expanded over the years and now have kind of gone back down and like scaled back down in size, but that it's not something that they're ever going to stop doing because there's
That's
a lot
awesome.
of rum lovers, and they realized from the very first one at Venetian Pool where he said that there was a line at the door of people that wanted to come in,
Yeah.
but they were at capacity and they
Right.
didn't realize that so many people would want this, but that clearly there are a lot of rum lovers out there, and
for
we
sure.
don't get the opportunity to have these kinds of trade shows as often as whiskey, for example, does,
Right.
right? So it's nice to see that people are still loving and learning about rum.
Yeah, whiskey has there's so many whiskey clubs too. It's so fun.
Fests and societies. But, we're getting that too with rum.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Florida Rum Society. I do a lot of work with them there too.
sure.
And they help spread the good word on rum.
Yeah, and it's so funny because you and I met because you came to my bar.
Yeah.
You were carrying. Oh, actually, we picked it up. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank
Yeah, we
you.
picked
Can't
it
wait to
up.
go pop those bottles open.
Oh, yeah, they've
Okay,
been
good.
popped. They've been popped. I already made a canchara with one of them. Like, it's so
Yes.
good.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite for the Can Bleu. a
I did it
canchara.
with. So we got the Clement VSOP.
Nice.
And then my cousin and his wife came in. And his wife's a big rum lover, and she normally drinks like rum old fashions. And her go to rum is Diplomatico. So I go to her, you want something? Try something different? And she was like, yeah. And I go, you want an old fashioned? Because this would have made a fantastic old fashioned
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But I made her like a canchara, and she was like, she had like 3 of them.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, she was like, it was so good. It was so good.
I gotta try it.
So,
I love El Presidente. Actually, it's on the menu at Café La Trova now. Their
The
Presidente
Presidente?
is with Clement VSOP.
Oh, very nice.
It's exceptional.
Yeah.
Well done. Shout out to them too.
Shout out to La Trova, yeah.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Ellie.
But it's so funny because like one thing that she was telling me, I let her try the rum on its own, and she was like, "Oh, this feels stronger." And I was like, "The same ABV as regular rum. Like it's just like the different." And she actually thought this was stronger than the volcanic, which I think the opposite. Like in flavor.
And you're right, because I mean, even ABV wise, the Clement VSOP is your standard 40,
Right.
but the Terroir Volcanique is 43.
It's 43.
ABV.
Okay.
So there is a little bit more
So I
alcohol
think
there.
she was picking up like certain nuances in here that made it perceive like it was stronger.
And people do that all the time. And I think it comes down to, what they're used to drinking outside of rum agricole.
Right.
But when you are used to, if she likes Diplomatico, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're used to a rum that has a certain level of sugar in it, added. And that sweetness gives you like perceived softness
Right.
and a roundness that makes it easier to go down, which is, no wonder why so many Latin American rums are everyone's go-to. They're really easy drinking.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks that haven't tried rum agricole before, when they do, they often think, oh, this is a little bit more, high alcohol.
Right.
No, it's just that they can't add any sugar. Per the AOC, you cannot add any sugar post-production. So it's a dry, completely dry rum. So all you're getting, particularly in the VSOP, is like a dry nuttiness
Right.
that you don't necessarily, correlate to rum. And with the terroir volcanique, the reason she probably perceived that as being a little bit softer is because there's American oak there and
Gotcha.
extra charred barrels. So think very much like in line with bourbon production. So you're getting more of those notes of sweetness and baking spices that you would get from the barrel. And it tricks your brain a little bit, even though it is actually higher alcohol, but it tricks your brain a little bit when you're tasting it.
Interesting. I'm loving this conversation already.
We're doing it. We're doing it now. Ask whatever questions. Let's nerd out.
And it was so cool when you came in because you were presenting to our Sam, who basically is in charge of ordering all our booze. And he's, up until then, he wasn't really a big rum guy. He was like, yeah, this is good, whatever. He fell in love with this. And one of the things that I told him, I was like, listen, as a Sam, like I feel like rum agricole is the sommelier's rum.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the French took what they knew about wine and brought it to this because, you know, and I'll let you go more into detail because you're my rum expert, but it's not a byproduct of the sugar industry.
Right.
It's not made from molasses like Spanish style or British style rums are. It's made from guarabo, like from straight up sugarcane.
Exactly.
Which some people also confuse this with cachaça, which is also a different process.
Right. But I think the most important thing to note, especially with cachaça, and I'm glad you mentioned that, is that they have their own protections. They do use sugarcane juice as their base, but it is very much a Brazilian product.
Right.
And they deserve to have that delineation, you know, that protected right to call their product cachaça, even if it is also a cane juice spirit. And this kind of trips up a lot of people when they're talking about, well, rum is rum, but really there's so much you can do with cane spirits, and you're seeing that now. And I think rum agricole was one of the first categories, and shout out to my boss, Ben Jones, who kind of single-handedly helped introduce people to the category 20 years ago with Clement VSOP. But it was the first time that people started seeing, there are other styles of rum really than what we've been seeing, which is a lot of Latin American rums. And even, some, your other Caribbean rums that are made with molasses like Jamaica or Barbados. But we expanded when it comes to rum agricole. And now what you're seeing is that it's even bigger than that. It's, you're starting to see Mexican charanda, Mexican rums coming out, and that didn't have a space to really play in the rum category or the overall cane spirit category, but you're seeing now that
that's the rum that's coming out of the Yucatan, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing it from all over.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's some in Oaxaca, Michoacan, etc. Yeah, but
so what is their style? What do they do different?
You're seeing a lot of cane juice spirits coming out of there.
Okay.
Some charanda you would see like a mix of molasses and cane juice.
I love that.
So there's a lot of playing with what you can do with rum, with cane, right? And I love to see that, because even rum agricole, right? They didn't always just make cane juice rum. There was a time where the majority of the production was also molasses, and that changed over time. And even now in St. Lucia, you see that they do mix molasses and cane juice spirits for their rums as well, for a few of them, like Chairman's 1931 or the Legacy.
Okay.
But still, yeah. So, I like that people are mixing it up and trying to see what is out there and available, how you can continue to make rum kind of cooler and more complex and mixing molasses and cane juice. But yeah, when it comes to Martinique specifically and rum agricole, it really is mostly about history. Do you want to nerd out a little bit historically?
No, let's do it.
So, so then you're going back, maybe like 150 years or so, but really it's the advent of the sugar beet production for sugar during the Napoleonic Wars that created the necessity to find other ways to use cane in Martinique. And so you have
they were making sugar out of beets at one point.
So the creation of that obviously devastated sugar production.
And why it was just easier to make beet sugar than it was to...
Well, yeah. So think about, wars are happening on the continent. you have your islands over in the Caribbean. It's difficult to get out there to get your
Sure.
sugar commodity
Right.
going. And during this time, you find that there's another, there's a vegetable that you can use that will give you the same kind of sugar
That grows over there.
that
too.
grows on the continent. So you're getting that. You're continuing to be able to, move sugar as a commodity, help fund your wars, help fund your economy. But you leave your islands kind of, in the dust. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's nothing that they can do because they've based their whole economy on sugar production.
Yeah.
And obviously this happened all throughout the Caribbean. But when it comes to the French colonies, right, the French territories, they find themselves with a bunch of sugar and a bunch of sugar factories, but nothing to do with it. So it's actually Omer Clement. He was considered the godfather of Rhum agricole. Was really dope figure. He was kind of a rock star. Was the first Black doctor in France. Went to France, became a doctor, came back to Martinique, a rock star.
Who's from Martinique?
He's from Martinique, yeah.
Yeah.
He becomes mayor of Le François, the area where he's from, and the area where
That's so cool.
Rhum Clement is now made.
What year is this around? Do you know?
Like the
1800s?
Yeah, late 1800s, basically.
Now, the way I'm thinking about it is, and I'm not 100% familiar with the slave history in the islands. Well, not those islands anyway, but I know that the French had Haiti at one point, and I'm sure they had Martinique as well.
Yeah.
So this...
They still do. It's still a French
I mean,
territory.
Like, as they had slaves there.
Yes,
so
of
I'm
course.
not sure if they did. So this guy was probably the son of a slave,
Probably.
right? That ended up becoming a doctor and then came back. Like, that's a total, like...
Yeah, they were
That's an incredible story.
Don't quote me on exact years, but they were really early on emancipation of enslaved people.
Right.
So you have
Yeah.
what I love when I was at the distillery and the estate, I got a really great tour from Mathieu, who runs the tours and everything, and he was telling me that they obviously they never had slaves at Rhum Clement or Domaine de l'Acajou. And you could feel it. You could feel the peace on that space. It's really impressive.
That's super cool that they don't have...
Yeah. You go there and it's very peaceful. And they've done such great things for the culture, right?
Yeah.
Rhum Clement is really known for spreading like Martinican culture and also just Caribbean and Afro-Caribbean culture. Yeah. They have 2 museums on site where they collect and display local Afro-Caribbean artists, their art. I think that's really important to kind of use their platform as a space to amplify others. Yeah. Let's start selling some more rum together and I'll take you there.
Let's do it.
You heard it now. But no, yeah. So
every cocktail at my bar is going to have these rums so that Ray can go to Martinique.
Exactly. Let's get you there. It's a plan for 2026.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so back to it, he really helped revitalize the economy. And it wasn't just him. There was like maybe 3, there were 3, I guess, distillers or previous sugar factory owners that realized that there was an opportunity to do something different and to help save their economy by switching rum production to sugarcane juice production. And this was something that they already consumed, but more locally. The farmers, they called it farmers' rum. That's where Rhum agricole comes from.
Right.
Agricole is agricultural.
Right.
It is farmers' rum. It's the rum that people had access to because you can get sugarcane juice fermented on your own, and then somebody with a portable still is going to come around and you can make your own rum agricole. But no one had access to molasses. That was the product. That was that was what the byproduct of sugar production was. We know this, but it was still owned by the sugar factories, and then they used that to make secondary money, by making rum.
But the farmers had the juice.
But the farmers, had the juice, had access to having some of their own sugar cane, so it was easy to be able to ferment that and use that for their own rum production. So that's what helped save the economy and save the island, and it became a style. It became their own. But you see it happening all over any French, colony, whether still part of France like Martinique or Guadeloupe, or previous like like Haiti,
Like Haiti, right?
which you still see like your chlorine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Production because, and let's be clear, this happened everywhere. This isn't just
Yeah.
French colonies, right?
No, for
We have
sure.
aguardiente in Cuba.
Right.
You know, Cuba has aguardiente.
And oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and Colombia too has.
And Colombia. I mean,
Different
Colombia,
styles,
yeah,
because
the
it's
Colombia
more
style,
anise.
they do anise in there, but aguardiente from Cuba, the original canchanchara, your aguardiente is the sugarcane juice rum.
Right.
So you have this everywhere, but you can see how historical, situations shaped different islands. And I think that's pretty cool that, it became a style that only now, 150 years later, are we really starting to get behind it and educate ourselves on this style and introduce it into more cocktails.
That's wild.
It is wild to me because I think that they're such exceptional rums. They offer so much depth, complexity.
They really do.
And I still have trouble with getting folks to understand that you can use this in so many different ways. You don't have to just use it the way you would use a Latin American rum. Sometimes that's not even going to work because we've already talked about the differences. Mm-hmm. Some have added sugar. You're not going to get the same effect. But I think that they offer a lot. I mean, clearly, we have a lot to offer.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Then this is only maybe a quarter of our offerings.
That's a healthy quarter. No, but one of the things also that when I make cocktails, even if the rum agricole isn't the star of the show, I like to throw it in there because it just adds so much. Like when I make a Mai Tai, right, I do a split base. So I'm doing like something like I want some funky Jamaican, like, so I'll probably get an Appleton in there and then mix it with an agricole.
I love how rum agricole shows up.
Yeah.
The higher the ABV goes, especially your unaged ones, because there's so much flavor there. Think kind of similar to all the flavor that you get in mezcal, right?
Right.
Very terroir driven. And but the Blanc is a great way to introduce someone to it that hasn't tried it before. I love to do that in a mojito, just a Clement Blanc in a mojito.
For sure.
And then people understand. And it's so green and grassy. You pair that with mint. It's just a natural pairing. Right. And it's a great way to showcase something different to folks without scaring them off too much. That it's so flavorful and different. People often, when they first try it, don't think it's rum.
Right. Well, because again, it goes back to that sugarcane juice, right? It goes back to that green, those grassy notes that are just beautiful in that. And the cool thing was that both of these are from Martinique, but this one almost has a little more like salinity to it.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you told us it was by the coast.
Yeah.
And then the other one, you could actually taste the volcanic soil in the actual rum. I mean, I know it has barrel aging as well, but you could definitely taste the minerality in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like to tell folks this is a masterclass in terroir, especially,
I can see that.
with sugarcane. I mean, molasses has its terroir too, but with sugarcane specifically, you can really get a sense of place. I think the only other spirit that we're really talking about when, in this kind of scope as having terroir is mezcal. And so that's having such a boom that I try to get folks to say, well, you like tasting different agave varietals, right? Why don't we try to do that with some rum? And, you can see that in single varietals like the Can Bleu, but even as you're tasting from company to company, from brand to brand, you can get the difference even in aged rum. So you're right. Rhum Clement, La Françoise in the southeastern part of Martinique, and that's kind of, more sea level, limestone soil. You're going to get more of that salinity that comes from being so close to the Atlantic.
Right.
And you're going to get more green, grassy notes in the Blanc. And as that develops in aging, Clement also doesn't char their barrels as much as some of the GM expressions are starting to be. So you're getting a just nutty, elegant expression in your aged rums. A lot of dried fig, dried fruit, that kind of thing. Whereas Rhum GM has really taken off with an innovative approach to aging now, and the terroir itself, that volcanic minerality. It is the highest elevation distillery.
Right.
It sits at the base of an active volcano. There is obviously a lot of accumulation of volcanic rock over the millennia, and that is where the cane grows. All of it grows within 75% of it grows within an hour from the distillery itself. So you're getting this really fresh take on Rhum agricole, and that ends up delivering a lot of banana, tropical notes, pineapple, papaya, and a lot of baking spice notes. For
Right.
me, like Rhum JM is anise.
Yeah.
Unaged versions, aged versions. Every single bottle of Rhum JM has a finish of star anise. You can always pick it out when you're blind tasting. That Clement just doesn't have. It's a little bit more. There's a little bit more salinity in it, as you said.
Yeah, and it's more. It's got a cleaner finish too than the jam.
I think this is a good time to make a tea punch. Do you want one?
I think go for it.
I didn't realize that you don't drink, but
but I taste.
I'll make two just in case.
Yeah,
we can make some. But I figured, we're talking about the difference in the styles, and I want you to choose before I make it. If you think you want jungle rum, more tropical, or if you want seaside rum.
Oh man, that's a tough call.
I know.
Make one of each.
I'll make one of each. Let's do it.
No,
have you ever had a tea punch?
Even though, no, not. I don't think I have.
Okay. This is the drink of Martinique. This is what everybody drinks. They drink tea punch the way we drink cafecito.
Right.
We drink like these little tiny cups like 6 times a day.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, you're having one.
Yeah.
This is that for them. Anywhere you're going, it's like, oh, let me have a tea punch. It's T stands for petite, so small, and punch is not like a punch bowl. It's just a prepared drink.
Right.
So give me like a prepared rum. In a sense, it's the best way for me to translate what it kind of means now. But it's just very simple. It's the holy trinity of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Rum, lime, sugar. It's our holy trinity, right?
Right.
It's the same. I mean,
so it's similar to a daiquiri kind of.
Yeah, like Cuba, we have our daiquiri, right? I think anywhere that cane grows, you have this, because obviously you still have you have the caipirinha with cachaça in Brazil, exactly. So it just makes sense. Kind of goes together. But you take a lime coin. I like to kind of just cut off the sides of the lime, and this is very traditional. Okay. You'll see a lot of folks that have kind of changed this a little bit to include ice or whatnot. Right. But this drink goes back to pre-ice days. So, we're going to make it that way because it's still the way that most people drink it on the island.
Even though I don't drink, I am a historian. So
this is for research. This is for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So you do that, and then we're going to add some rum. I didn't bring sugar. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? We're just going to drink it like this.
We'll drink it like this.
You know what this is called? This is a tea punch sec.
Tea punch sec. There you go.
This is what happens when we're not actually in my house and we come down to the conference room. Otherwise, I would have just been like, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to the kitchen right now and get it. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to have a tea punch sec. So imagine that I put sugar in there.
Sure.
I wonder if you can hear that.
Yeah.
Glug, 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 glug.
I think you could.
Yeah. So
we'll probably start taking those and make sound bites out of them.
Yeah. Like, glug, 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 glug. You should. So you would normally put sugar in here, sugar in the raw, or
I can smell it from here. Oh my God, it smells so good.
Or cane syrup in there, depending on what you prefer. But to be honest, this is kind of almost how I prefer it. I would put very minimal sugar in mine anyway. And then if you can get that in there, you just swish it around a little bit.
Swizzle it.
Yeah. The idea is, one, when there's sugar, to obviously help it dissolve.
You take this swizzle stick from your husband?
No, this is my swizzle stick. Mine, Marco.
For those who don't know, Anays's husband, Marco, works at Barcode.
Yeah.
So
it's funny, though. I think I did take this glass from him. It was something that was... I mean, what's mine is his. You know what I mean? Obviously. What's his is mine. But this particular glass is something that was given to him after he won the last tea punch cup that our company did in 2019, pre-COVID. So you get to try them. There you go.
Oh, it has a little tea punch. It says tea punch.
Yeah. So you can make your own tea punch in there.
Very nice.
And also, just to throw you off, I put the JM in the Clement cup and the Clement in the JM cup. So now you see.
That smells so good.
So yeah, so the idea is as it sits, it changes, right? Again, when there's sugar, jeez, can't believe I forgot
It
the
almost
sugar.
like right as it is, it smells like caipirinha already.
Yeah, because same basic components. You know what I mean? With the JM 100, you're getting a lot of banana.
That's so good.
But it really brings out the lime oils will really bring out some more of those tropical notes. Whereas here, then it brings out with the Con Bleu, I really like it because there's already a lot of lime notes in the Con Bleu, so it brings that out even more, makes it brighter.
Yeah, I mean the second that I put my nose in it, you get hit with that citrus.
So yeah, as someone who's cut out a lot of sugar in my life, the only time I really have sugar is in cafecito nowadays.
Same.
And I try, it's hard. You go around and you drink a lot of cocktails, but you have to stop at some point. You have to choose your battles.
They're both really good. I think that one's my jam.
Can Bleu, man.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's my jam. Oof.
It just makes sense. That's my favorite for a tea punch. Also my favorite for a canchanchara because, again, lime, honey.
For sure.
And those are the predominant notes you're getting from Clement Can Bleu.
It's also got a heat that this one doesn't have.
Yeah.
I like that little burn at the end.
A little burn. Yeah. Which, again, would be helped with some sugar. I'm just roasting myself now at this point. I can't believe I forgot sugar for
I think it's great as is.
But it is. And this would just be called the tea punch sec.
A tea punch sec.
Sec dry.
Fantastic.
So there you go. Now we can drink that with some to offset the caffeine high that we're going to be running.
Right.
But yeah, same thing. You go somewhere in Martinique and you ask for a tea punch. And typically the way that they serve it to you is with a bunch of little pieces of lime. Mm-hmm. They're using the whole lime, right? I have the opportunity to use the outside and make a really pretty, lime coin, and then I'll juice the rest of this lime. What they'll do is they'll give you like little tiny like triangles.
Triangles, okay.
And they'll set just raw sugar on the side for you, and they'll bring you the bottle of your choice. So you just tell them the bottle you want. You want Can Bleu, then they'll just bring you Can Bleu, the whole bottle, and you make it yourself. The saying goes, each person prepares their own death. Chacun prépare sa propre mort.
Say it again?
No. Okay. Chacun, please, any French-speaking folk, do not roast me. Chacun prépare sa propre mort.
That's nice.
Everybody prepares their own death. And
that's great.
You get to just make it to your own liking, which I think is really cool.
I want that on a T-shirt.
I also think it's a great.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put that you quoted that.
I have a lot of friends that have it tattooed on their bodies.
Nice.
It's like a way of life, you know what I mean? Let everybody do what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? When you extrapolate from there, just mind your own business, kind of thing. Let people do what they're gonna do. Let them live their lives. I love that. I also think it's a really beautiful kind of aspect of hospitality.
Yeah.
Right? Like, tell me you don't love. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I've seen this in a lot of Italian restaurants too. Sometimes, mostly the ones that I've worked at. When you go eat as a guest, obviously you know what it's like when you go eat as a guest at the restaurant where you worked or at the company that you work for. They're going to treat you like royalty almost in a sense. Of course. And my favorite thing was always when at the end of a meal, after coffee or whatever, we'd be like, they'd ask for if we wanted Amaro. And I'd say, of course we want Amaro, bring them out. And they would just bring 1 or 2, maybe 3 bottles, just leave them on the table with glassware. Yeah. You do what you're going to do. I love that. I think that's so hospitable. It makes you feel like you're actually in someone's house, which is, I think, something that we forget going out to eat is supposed to feel comforting.
You know who did that for us recently? At Vice Versa. Valentino.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Valentino.
I was out there with my wife and a friend of ours, and we sat down. At the end, he just came over. He was like, "Oh, you got to try this." Some new Amaro that he just picked up. And he left it at the table. He just brought glasses, left it at the table, and just walked off.
I love that.
And it's beautiful.
That tells you, without having to actually say it, you're in my house and you're welcome here. This is a topic that I've been starting to research a little bit more, really trying to go down the rabbit hole. Obviously, I've started with St. Lucia. Mm-hmm. One, because I really love their rums and I get to work with them. So it's not only important for me to know the history, but I have the privilege to have access to learning more of that history. But what we call spiced rum is so much more than that. And to the point where I've started, I don't know if we tasted Chairman Spiced. No, because I only brought rum agricole. We were specifically looking at French rum. I've started to taste people on this particular product by saying, when you go into it, when you go into it, forget what you know and you think you know about spiced rum.
Everyone thinks Captain Morgan,
Exactly,
or Sailor Jerry, or the Kraken.
You said it, not me.
No,
but yes,
you're not
forget what you know.
You're not allowed to say.
It's not that I'm not allowed to. It's just,
but I get it.
You get it. But this is the Amaro of the Caribbean.
That smells like Christmas.
Exactly.
Like that legit smells.
This is like the perfect time of year to drink this too. I love it in a hot toddy or with hot chocolate or
hot toddy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a grog.
Is there vanilla in that?
There is. So let me explain just slightly the process and kind of tie it in. So this starts off as a 3-year-old rum already. So already an exceptional rum, column still rum. We're pulling from middle and lower plates off the column still. And then after that, I love that you poured it in cafecito cup. It's my favorite. No, it doesn't. It's great. This is how I like to drink in a thimblefuls. And then we macerate all the ingredients separately. So still a very small kind of artisanal method of production, but there's orange peel, lemon peel, lime leaf, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, vanilla, and just the most important piece, which my Dominican friends would know by another name, but we call it bois bandé in St. Lucia. It's the bark that is known for having an aphrodisiacal property that you see in Mama Juana. Mama Juana is the same thing. It is a medicinal process, a medicinal product at first. Everyone gets it now because of the aphrodisiacal properties and whatnot, but it is based in a long, long history of indigenous and African know-how, knowledge that has been passed down by generation after generation because it has always been medicine. It's always been medicinal, like Amaro, which is why I've started to call this the Amaro of the Caribbean, almost as a way to help get folks to forget what they thought they know about a lot of these so-called spiced rums. I'm doing air quotes. And the fact that those are all made with artificial ingredients to very quickly for a completely different kind of drinker. But this deserves a moment of pause. This is your digestivo. This is also fantastic in cocktails because it's so complex in flavor. And you go back to Costa Rica and they have their own. And anywhere you go around the Caribbean, they're going to have their own. But in St. Lucia, it's a really important part of their culture and their history. They grow a lot of these spices. And everybody, like you said, has their own recipe, their own home recipe.
Right.
And you go to any bodega, any corner store, any whatever, and they're going to have 6 different jugs that will cure whatever ails you. You have a headache, you're going to drink this one.
Yeah.
Your stomach hurts, have that one, right? All of that. And I think that that's beautiful and important. And again, we're only now starting to scratch the surface of all the knowledge that there is to gain by learning about rum.
Right. You're Cuban, right?
Yeah, I'm Cuban.
So you remember El Jarabe your grandma would make when you were sick?
Yes.
That everybody had a different recipe. Like some was the leaves of an orange tree with onion, and there was pepper, and there was honey, and then there was rum in there, and you put it in there, and it smelled like death. And it was so garlicky.
But it brought you back from death.
But let me tell you something. You had for me it was not bronchitis, but like when you had that chest cough.
Yeah.
You would drink that and you were done.
You're golden. Yeah.
Everything was gone.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And like usually around this time of year, this is when my grandma would prepare it because this is when we would all get sick.
Right.
And then it was just like a spoonful. Bam. And I hated it. You hold your nose.
Exactly.
And then you smelled like garlic and orange peels
you'd
for
be
like
sweating
the
it
next 5
out.
days.
But then it cured what ailed you. And that's that knowledge, that verbal medical knowledge that passes down generation by generation and that we really should be preserving
For sure.
and trying to preserve a little bit more. But that's why when people, I think that spice rum gets such a bad rap. And when you taste very well made, this is my favorite. This is, if you're going to have one spice rum at your bar, it should be this one.
For sure.
Because it also tells a story, and you can continue to debunk myths and get people to open their minds when they taste this.
It reminds me of that. There's a candy The little, you know what I'm talking about? The little
I don't know
orange,
specific,
the little
but yeah.
orange slices. They have the powdered sugar on.
Oh yeah,
Little
yeah.
gummy ones.
hmm
It has that, not as sweet, obviously, but the finish, it has that candied orange
Yeah.
that I really enjoy.
I get that from a lot of folks. It always reminds them of a candy, like an
Yeah.
orange candy that they had growing up in so many different places.
You know what a morir soñando is?
Yeah, of course.
This
Yeah.
would go great.
Oh my
in a morir
gosh.
soñando.
I agree.
Morir soñando, for those who don't know, is a Dominican drink. It's orange juice with milk, and sometimes some people add a little bit of lime juice to it. It tastes like a liquid creamsicle.
Yeah.
With this, with that,
Would be delicious.
so good.
I've been having it in a paper plane. I have to shout out. It was a bartender in
I
Puerto
can
Rico
see
that made
that.
it for me, and I was like, "This is so good."
I
And it's
can
really
see
good
that.
in a paper plane.
Instead of the
I mean, instead of the
bourbon.
yeah, Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's because it already goes so well with the orange liqueur. You know, the aperitivo that goes in there, your Aperol or whatever.
Right, Aperol.
I can always find a rum for you
Oh,
for
yeah.
all kinds of drinkers.
Even when people say, "Oh, I don't like rum."
Exactly. That's my favorite challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you like? You like bourbon? You like rye? Okay, I got you. I usually start them off with Chairman's Original. Now, my go-to would be JM Terroir Volcanique. But when I was behind the bar, we didn't have that
No.
expression yet. If someone likes Highland
Yeah.
Scotch,
That's a phenomenal expression.
Clement, VSOP, yeah.
The
Volcanique is exceptional.
So good.
Yeah, this one really it's the newest, and it's become our most award-winning rum at this point, and the bottle stands out and it's gorgeous. It's also, I think, a very kind of innovative way of making rum. You often see a lot of kind of one and done cask
Yeah.
releases, things like that, where someone is experimenting with American oak and whatnot. But it's actually really special for us to have something that is consistent like this. The first time we did it, the previous cult classic was the JM VSOP.
Mm-hmm.
That's that also has American oak in it. And this one we just went off the rails. It's 2 different American oak barrels at different char levels, both extra charred basically, and the rum spends time in each one and then gets blended together. It's 3-year-old rum. But 3 years in, a very subtropical climate,
Right.
kind of equates to 8 to 10 years continental aging. So you're getting a very complex rum at in a third of the time.
Because of the heat.
Because of the heat. Absolutely. Because of the heat. The angel share in Martinique and St. Lucia is getting up to 10% right now. So imagine losing 10% of your barrel year over year.
Angel share, for those at home listening, in whiskey they call it the devil's cut. It's called different things, but the winemakers call it the angel share because it's the little bit of spirit that evaporates due to time, really, right?
Yeah.
The heat can cause it just being exposed to a little bit of air. So they call it the angel share.
The angel share.
It's the sacrifice that you have to make a good product.
For the angels. And yeah, so you're losing that, especially with, in dry temperatures, you're going to lose a lot more of that water content. And then you're going to have more higher alcohol products that are very complex in the barrels.
For sure. So before I let you go, we are the Barcode Mixer. And
Right.
this is the only thing I prepped you for.
Yeah, that's true.
We are the Barcode Mixer, and we say that we live by the code. And I want to know, what code do you live by?
I live by the code that you should always treat people hospitably, whether you're at work or not. It's something that I think we all develop in this industry, a certain level of empathy that you don't necessarily get exposed to if you're not in the service of others.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think that's when you did send me that question, the first thing that came up to me is the code of always treating others hospitably, always trying to put others, kind of first. What can you do to make your neighbors' lives easier? And when you're talking about work, as someone who was a manager for a very long time, you start with hospitality towards your team, towards your staff.
It starts inside.
It starts inside before you can even get to the customers.
You're
But
absolutely right.
that's my code. Is treat others with hospitality, always, in or on the clock or off the clock.
On the clock or off.
Man, this world would be so much better if everybody worked in a restaurant at least 6 months in their lives.
I've always said that.
That's to me the most
Restaurant
important
or
thing.
Retail.
But restaurant, more importantly to me than retail,
Yeah.
because it's a more intimate experience when you're feeding somebody.
You're eating. Yeah, it's different.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's not, it's something that you would also do at home for yourselves, but you're entrusting others to do it for you
Right.
and to give you a comforting experience. So even more so than retail. And I mean, I've worked retail too, and that is very, very tough. And I fully believe that if everybody that walked into any customer service establishment had 6 months of previous work working in a restaurant, they would not treat others so poorly.
No, you're absolutely right. They wouldn't.
So
They wouldn't.
you build a level of humility and empathy that we could all use.
Do you think that you mentioned that this job creates empaths? Do you think that empaths are more driven to this profession, or do you think that they get made in this profession?
I mean, I think there is a certain kind of person that gets drawn to our industry.
Mm-hmm.
And are we already maybe predisposed to being a little bit more empathetic? Perhaps.
Probably, yeah.
But that's not the case for everyone. And I do think that it will develop it within you, even if that wasn't something you were already predisposed to. So a little bit of both, I would say. You have to become, and it doesn't start as empathy. People don't think of this as empathy. I'm really talking about a good steps of service.
Yeah.
Right. But when you start doing steps of service and you it becomes muscle memory to always give someone water when they sit down, always greet someone kindly,
Right.
check in, make sure that they have what they need. You start to take that outside of work,
For sure.
you know,
For sure.
at least if you're doing it right.
Well, like it's becomes second nature.
Yeah.
At that point.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. And we should all treat each other that way and build community in that sense. So
Mic drop on that point.
yeah,
That was great.
seriously. I'm not going to drop this mic
Wait,
though.
Well, there you have it, guys. This has been Anays Diaz with Spiribam. Spiribam, not spirit. There's no T in it. Spiribam.
Yeah.
And all these rums.
So
And
many.
drink more agricole rum, because you know what?
Yes.
It's just as skinny as a skinny margarita, as a vodka soda. There's no added sugar into this.
Especially to roast myself, you can have a tea punch sec,
There you
and that's
go.
it.
A
No,
tea punch sec. No sugar. This is the diet drink of the year.
seriously.
We got to get more of the skinny girls drinking this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the
That would-
guys too.
That would change our life for Rhum Agricole if we could get that. If we could
You know,
get
next-
anybody just drinking more.
Next time that someone says to me, "Can I get an old fashioned without sugar?" I'm like, "No, you want a tea punch
Yeah, yeah.
for sure."
Tea punch view. Just do a slice of lime
You
and a
want a
little
tea
Clement
punch
VSOP.
sec. Let's go.
Exceptional.
that.
Exceptional. That's
Love
it.
that. It should be our little greet, or we're at a French place. Makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah,
When I come in to see you next time,
we'll do a little tea.
we'll start there.
There you have it, guys. See you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.